I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Colby and Chip and Ghosty.
Black Flag Depression. Which group is this?
This is the Extreme Underground.
XU! Videos from the documentary The Decline of Western Civilization, and they're one of the first hardcore bands. I thought Black Flag was a punk band.
I would have thought so, but apparently not.
Didn't we do Black Flag in Punk Week?
We did Black Flag, but I don't remember if it was in Punk Week.
Okay. So if you wonderful people can figure out if Black Flag is punk or if they're not, that would be great.
Yeah, don't forget, guys, the Sorry Secret shirts. Woo! Maybe you're sick because your secrets is what it says on the back. The link is in the description if you want to buy any of our gear. We've got that. We've got mugs and all kinds of different stuff. But really, the most popular is the shirts and the mugs. But if you take any pictures with our stuff and you send us the picture, then we will feature you in one of our videos.
Unless you say you don't want to.
When you send us the picture, if you want us to say your name in there too, let us know. Because, I mean, we'll say first and last if you want us to. Whatever you decide. Look at this. Somebody gave us this for Orion.
Shout out to Vanna.
Everybody calls him Oreo. So,
who came up with that awesome nickname?
I believe I did.
Why always lying to these people? Stop lying to these beautiful people. This is a Extreme Underground Alliance. If you wanted to join an alliance, you're more than welcome to.
Link is in the description for our Patreon as well.
Yep, $1 at the gate for the ticket. Also, if you are a Static X fan or a Devil Driver fan and you're on Patreon, let us know any interview questions you want asked, because we are going to be there next Saturday interviewing the big homies. Mm-hmm. So let us know what questions you have, and I will make sure to put them on there. First come, first serve. I think we've got like 3 slots open. Yeah. So if you're a Static X fan, there you are. Okay, so this is called Depression. Good Lord. I wonder what this song's going to be about. What?
It's just, I wonder what this is going to be about. This ought to be uplifting, and I'm very glad we're recording it.
Okay, go!
But, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking, wait, like, why are we always talking about sad stuff? And then I'm like, wait, you guys keep sending us sad songs.
Right.
Somebody, like, request something fun?
Somebody
we need some more of that, who was that guy? Weird Al. Give me some Weird Al.
There's nothing wrong with a sad song here and there.
It's all over the place because it's metal. Go.
Black Flag Depression, let's go. I can't hear a thing there.
Walk by myself, why out loud? No one else, the situation. Within me, not right now, my life. Close my face, passion's got a hold. Depression, and I'm crazy, passion's got a hold. Depression, gonna kill me. Why don't God, no friends to call my out. Why just stay wrong? There's no girls, no girls that wanna touch me. Why don't need your fucking sympathy? No. Depression, now baby, depression got hold. Depression, gonna kill me. Well, the guy just got away. Why don't we just run? Roll up tonight. I still got this. Yeah, hold on, brother. Oh, I know it's not. That's nothing now. Got hook. Depression. Got me. Depression got hook. Depression. Gonna kill me. Depression! Got racist, depression got hood. Depression! Gonna kill me! Gonna kill you too!
church?
Maybe they lived in a church in 1981.
Okay. So I want to know if this guy's singing, what happened to him in his life?
He's still around.
He's still around.
Henry Rollins. Actually, who is it? Jen in our group.
Oh, she's a fan?
She's a big Henry Rollins fan.
Oh.
Shout out to Jen. What's up, homegirl? Actually, stuff's going pretty good for Jen, so I'm pretty happy. Mashallah tabaraka. You better treat her right, boy, or the entire village is coming for you. Okay. I'm just playing with you, man. I'm glad everybody's happy. Everybody deserves some happiness. Okay, so yeah, Henry Rollins is still around. So he's I think, haven't you seen him? Henry Rollins. Let me show you what he looks like now. That's what he looks like now. Can you imagine? Can you believe it's the same guy? Okay, so I don't know. That sounded like a punk song to me, bro. Didn't that sound like a punk song, like punk?
It did.
They're saying it's hardcore. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like punk to me.
It did to me as well.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because, well, not funny, but like they're singing about something serious, you know, like the effects of depression and how it's going to hold on him. He can't break free from it. It's going to kill him.
Right.
But like the way that they were singing it was all like upbeat and stuff.
Well, yeah. That I was thinking about that too, and I was like, well, there's different ways to express your pain, you know?
Yeah.
Like this is kind of like that rebellious like attitude of like, you know, he says in the song, I don't need your sympathy.
Well, that was right after he said that no girls want to touch him, and when he said that, I thought that's probably going to make some girl feel bad for him. She'll touch him. Then he was like, no, I don't want your fucking sympathy. I was like, oh.
Well.
So he knew that might be like.
Yeah, so there is this thing called incels, and to be honest with you, I don't really understand completely the subculture, but it's men who are like depressed and girls don't like them, and they get very angry, and like they're really a source of mockery right now. Like,
Oh, really?
oh yeah, like the term incel is like I think they originally coined the term, but now that it's being used like in a negative way to mock people and make fun of them. And so it's really interesting. And a lot, of course, these are generally stereotyped as white males, so you know they're not going to get any sympathy whatsoever. Because right now in our current zeitgeist, you know, forget it. If you're a white male, even if you're literally clinically depressed, forget it.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So it's an interesting state of mind that we're in right now in this country, where we're so divided and we're so tribalized that now you've got a whole group of people who, like I said, I don't know much about them, so maybe there's a bad, dark, evil version of them, but for me it looks like these are the people that Jordan Peterson appeals to.
Yeah, but wasn't there a group of them where they were like, they like killed a girl or something like that? Like,
well, there was a guy a couple years ago, maybe 8 years ago, who went up and shot up a gym full
that's
of
what
girls.
It was, a yoga studio. Yeah, that's what I was.
And then he wrote about like
some vague details still in my mind. So I'm like, wait.
Yeah, he wrote about like none of them wanted him,
Yeah.
and he hadn't had sex since X, and then he kind of became a hero for these for this subculture.
Well, so there is something there.
Right. So of course that part you demonize for sure, but anytime you have a group of people, you know, that the worst version of them doesn't speak for all of them. But you know, now it's like the white male who can't get a girl and is depressed and nobody feels sorry for you because you're a white male, you know, and it's as if they're impervious to pain and suffering. Well, they're not. They're not impervious to pain and suffering. You know, and it's like that Jordan Peterson clip where he was speaking, I think he was speaking at Liberty University, and then the guy interrupts and he says, I'm unwell, I need help.
Oh, yeah.
And he started crying, and then they started praying over him, and Peterson was there. It was a very, very touching moment, and I don't care what you say about Peterson. In my mind, he's doing God's work. There's a whole category of dudes in our country who need a father figure, and it's interesting because Peterson doesn't offer pity to people. What he does is he says, okay, you're discouraged, here's how to get your way out.
Yeah.
Make your bed.
Yep.
Start small and make it. You know, and it's not Tony Robbins like, hey, you're the greatest, you can make it. Peterson's like, look, life is hard. You're gonna have to carry a cross, whether you believe in Jesus or not. It's a good prototype. He's a good
Yeah.
It's good utility.
Yeah.
It's a fact of life. Is that you have to deal with pain and suffering. I get it. It hurts. Here's how to do it. And he gives them a game plan to get them back some confidence in a culture that currently has zero pity for them and does not want to see them win. That's the other thing, is that most people, when you're depressed, most people are gonna try to what is
Everything
that?
is going off. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, that's the Korn song we just reviewed. I'm just gonna mute that.
Yeah.
Most people are going to try to encourage you and say, hey, you can make it. And I think on an individual level, that's the case. But I just think that right now, white males, it's like nobody wants to see them win. And it's like, you've been winning the whole time. It's like,
Well, yeah.
Not particularly. Not the people around here. Most of the people that we were dealing with in our ministry were white males who were in a lot of trouble. We were dealing with the opioid crisis. And burying people who just,
Right.
just 2 days ago, somebody else, died of a heroin overdose, and the guy was, had a little daughter and all the rest of it. So our situation's a little bit different. I think people still have compassion on doesn't matter what you are, if you have a, an addiction like heroin and you're on the verge of dying, I think people still, but depressed white men who can't get a girl, forget it. Like there's no pity whatsoever for those guys, and so and they don't want pity because it's not a very masculine emotion, especially in America.
You think none of them want pity?
No, I really don't. Well, again, I'm not very conversant with that subculture, and I can't really relate to it very well for a whole host of reasons.
Yeah.
So I don't think the reason I say I don't think they want pity is, again, because of how Jordan Peterson affects these group of people. And he does not offer pity, and he does not offer blame for why they're in that situation. What he does do is he says, you find meaning in taking on responsibility. And it just so happens that young ladies are attracted to men who take on responsibility. Funny little secret there. It doesn't matter how advanced people are in the world.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're coming from a biblical worldview.
Right.
If you're a dude who not necessarily conquers your depression, but knows how to manage your depression, and then how to, take those steps, make your bed, take on responsibility, those types of things. It just so happens that you become very attractive to women.
It's true.
So, but I love that he's there and he's really filling a gap and I think that's why God's given him a voice, and I think he's saved a lot of people's lives. So no, I don't think that they want pity. Do you think they do?
I think some, yeah. I could picture some.
Yeah, okay. There was one guy.
I just think that he represents a whole group of people, though.
Yeah,
he's not just by himself in the whole world.
He was definitely the prototype of that, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And he, I would say that guy wanted a bunch of pity and sympathy and all that. So I agree. But here's what I will say. I don't think that he wanted pity presented as pity.
No. No.
So, yeah. I hear. I was thinking about him when you were coming to whisper his name, and I was like, yeah, well, okay, that guy's different. Depression's gonna kill him. I mean, good Lord. Everybody just get away. I'm gonna boil over inside today. They say things are gonna get better. All I know is they better get better. I mean, then that's how you feel during a state of depression. But what's interesting is it's like everybody just get away, and it's like at the beginning it says right here all by myself. I ain't got no one else.
Yeah, but that's how you feel though when you're all off. You're like, leave me alone, but I don't want to be alone. But don't come near me, but yet you should hold me. Like, sometimes you have like those like conflicting feelings. Or sometimes you're just rolling. Sometimes they're not like simultaneous and it makes you feel kind of like off. Sometimes it's like they follow each other. So like you want to be alone, but then when you're alone, you don't want to be alone. And then, you know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like all that stuff at the same time. I want to be alone, but I don't want to be alone.
Well, when I was really going through my stuff in high school, I wanted to be alone in my room, but I didn't want the house empty. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to be alone in my room. I'd lock the door. I had my guitar, and I'd just watch MTV like the whole day. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't go to school or anything. And my mom like stopped she gave up trying to make me go to school. And then I just locked my door and wouldn't talk to anybody for days and hours on end. But I never was gonna say this, but I still wanted people in the house. I didn't want the house to be empty. But I wanted to be alone in my room, but to know that my brother was there and that everybody, you know, because me and my brother shared the same room.
Oh, that's interesting.
Shout out to the big homie Jamie. Thanks, buddy.
That's so funny because when I was a teenager and I wanted to be alone, I would leave to ensure that I was alone. I didn't even want to be at the house. I wanted to be completely alone.
What do you mean, like you had your car and stuff? Mm-hmm. Lucky for me, I never had a car. That would have been bad. I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And my mom wouldn't have let me.
Yeah.
She would have literally fought me. She wouldn't have let me. And she would have been right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that dichotomy of, you know, human beings are difficult, man. They're really, really difficult. There's no real rhyme or reason to a lot of this stuff. You know, whereas like with you, if I was your parent, if my mom was your parent, she would have made the wrong call because you needed to get out of the house. Like, so you know, fighting you and forcing you to stay in the house would have been the wrong call for you because you were okay. You weren't going to do anything outside the house.
They didn't know, though, that like, there was times where I was driving and I shouldn't have been driving. But they didn't know, like, where I was at.
Oh, yeah.
So.
My mom knew. It's pretty unmistakable.
But if they would have known, they probably would have said I couldn't drive, and then I probably would have not been here. So I think that's a good reason they didn't know.
What do you mean?
Because I get to this point where I needed like an escape. I needed to get out. And so getting in the car and driving was, I guess, you know, how I would put music on and stuff, and music was part of the escape, but I didn't really have like music that really like resonated with me.
Right. You didn't have metal at the time.
No, it was
You didn't have any Tool or anything.
No, I didn't have anything that like really, but I would listen to stuff and I would just drive. So I think that, you know, but if they would have made me stay, I know it sounds really crazy, but I think I would have just killed myself because I needed to move and get out.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're a young person who's struggling with depression and your parents are not handling it well, I don't want to trivialize what you're going through, but it's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult to look at that.
This one girl said, yeah, again?
Yeah. Did you take everything off?
I did.
What about the background music?
Well, you know what's the only thing is what might be coming through our headphones. Because look, everything is gone out of it.
You're going to have to completely. The
silence.
capitalist pigs and whatever.
That Aussie reaction video. They keep blocking it. I deleted everything. The only thing that you can hear is like what's coming through our headphones that are on our head. But yeah, it's a, you know, it's a crazy thing. I was working with these people, and the daughter was like, your parents are like way too restrictive. And I was like, well...
They said that about you? Your
They
parents?
were saying that about my parents. And she said, she's like, she was telling me, it was weird because I would never have admitted to myself that I was struggling with depression or that I had any like tendencies toward suicide or anything like that. I kind of kept those things like under wraps until it would get like really bad. And even in that case, I wouldn't talk about it. But she said, she's like, this is what you need to do. She's like, go into your room, paint your walls black, like literally paint them black, because then it's gonna, your parents...
Who told you that?
This girl that I worked with.
Do I know her?
No. She's
Okay.
like, paint all of your walls black and then just lay in your bed and don't eat and don't talk to them until they like start like letting you be yourself, like stop being so restrictive. I was like, oh, honestly, I had way too much energy to do something like that. Like, I am not going to be able to lay in my bed in darkness. You know how I am with darkness. Like, I need the shades open and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. We fight about that all the time.
Yeah. When I'm depressed, I don't even want to be in darkness when I'm depressed.
Really?
No. But I think because I already feel so heavy inside, I don't like feeling like that. And so I want to give me the light and the sun. Because it makes me feel like, okay, I'm gonna come out of this. I'm not gonna stay in this depression. So.
I see.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah. So if you're a kid and your parents aren't handling it well, give them some grace because nobody knows how to really love someone perfectly out of those situations. You know what I mean? Everybody's doing the best that they can, generally speaking. What do you give the song?
8. What do you give it?
Yeah, I give it an 8 as well. I mean, it was a punk song, so it wasn't like, you know, like, yeah, it was a punk song, so it wasn't, you know, you're not going to get a lot of, like, definition in the chords and all that stuff. So I had to keep that in mind as I was listening. Or early hardcore, whatever you want to call it. But I thought it was still a good message. And it's kind of deceptive in the sense that, you know, a depressed person doesn't always have to go around moping. Sometimes it can be released in the form of anger. Because a lot of times they'll convert it into anger because anger is a more powerful feeling, pseudo-masculine feeling type of energy. When in reality, they're just depressed. So I'll give it an A as well. Good one. There you are. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Well, they say, just get away. Why don't we just run? Well, that's that. I said.